Welcome to Solo Shot First, and today we are going to be having a look at the Purge Trooper, the Phase 2 armour from the 3-pack of the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, apologies, actually, this is coming out obviously quite a bit after the others. I had already reviewed Tika and Ben Kenobi at the Tibidon station, and for some reason, I don't know why. I mean, I think I said at the time I was unsure of opening this, or I thought, this would probably be the least of the three that I wanted to open. But I thought, but at the end of the day, the whole idea of having the 3-pack was to open these. So, looking at the card back, I mean, I've got to be honest. I mean, I think you only saw sort of quite fleeting glances of these sort of Purge troopers in the series. I may be completely wrong. I might have just missed them or whatever. But the actual card back, the image of this looks like obviously it's taken straight from the series. Or either that, or obviously it's like a photograph. It would appear to be like a photograph on the set. I don't think. Let's just bring that in. I don't think. See what you think. I don't think that's an artist's impression. It certainly looks more like a photograph or a still from the series. So it's a nice looking card back, a really good looking card back. I mean, obviously the actual figure of the Purge Trooper on the front does look fantastic. It's got that gorgeous red, really sort of vibrant red name peel for the Purge Trooper, and obviously the background behind the figure is that really vibrant red as well. So it does actually really stand out on the card. You've got that sort of traditional Kenner logo in the bottom, warning in the top right as you look at it, and the 4+ age group. This again, obviously as part of that 3-pack, does come on the really, really lovely thick cardstock, and obviously you've got that beautiful unpunched card. So again, for you carded collectors, then obviously this is one that you're going to absolutely want. And if you're an opener, in some ways it's probably a little bit of a shame that this was obviously sort of part of that 3-pack, because again, and I know I sort of talk about this a lot, but this sort of figure you would almost want as a, like you want more than one of these. So, this could have been, have it on a card back by all means, but it also could have been on put into one of those sort of Army Builder 4-packs. But anyway, a really lovely looking front of this card. Let's have a quick look at the back. So this is VC259, the lovely Star Wars racetrack design, vintage collection logo, legal information, and then you've got obviously the other characters. So Tika and obviously Ben were part of this, obviously with the Purge Trooper, but then they're also highlighting Luke Skywalker, which obviously is part of the future wave, or I should say future waves, along with Cal Kestis, Cassian Andor, the artillery stormtrooper, and Vel Sartha. So, VC259, as I said, great card back. All we now need to do is get this figure out of the packaging, and we'll have a look at it. I apologise for the light. Obviously, again, like here in the UK, we're now sort of going into the real sort of throes of, wouldn't say throes of winter, but it's getting dark and gloomy quite early, and even if it's not early in the morning, it still can be quite dark. So anyway, let's get this figure out of the packaging, and we'll have a look. Okay, so here we've got the figure out of the packaging, and I really do hope, you're going to be able to see this in this light, because as you can probably see, there is a sort of a shadow forming from the Purge Trooper, just quite simply how dark it is here. But now out of the packaging, I've got to say, look, there's a couple of things here. Look, it is a nice looking figure. However, and I don't want this to sound sort of pessimistic, what I would say is the legs, they certainly appear to be very similar, and I'll bring it in and see if you can see that. I don't think you're going to in this light. They almost appear to have, this Purge Troop has basically the same legs as the old clone troopers, and also like the ones that you got in that sort of Black Series line as well. So it's got very, very thin legs, really thin legs. So I think they've actually used that body part, which is a little bit of a shame, because the top half, the torso, does look really, really good. I mean, obviously the black does stand out very, very nicely. And even if you've got it under light, as you can probably see here, you do get a nice sort of tint and reflection off it. So that is really, really nice. You've got some lovely soft goods there around, obviously, the waist. The nice sort of armoured pauldron, obviously, on his right shoulder. and then obviously just something there, and obviously like a red tag, arm guard, whatever you want to call that, on, sorry, his left. So other than that, the legs, it's a really, really good looking figure. It is also a shame, obviously, it doesn't come with there is no holster, which is a little bit of a shame. But again, I suppose it's because they're using, not going to get him to stand that way, sorry. Let me try and get him that way. Maybe they're using sort of different bits of kit bashed bits and pieces from different figures, which obviously they will be. But it's a nice looking figure. And again, it's a shame that, yes, this needed to be on a card. Of course it did. But this is exactly the sort of figure that you do want in one of those Army Builder packs. In terms of the accessories that you get with this figure, it does just come with the one blaster, sort of quite standard blaster that we have, that the Stormtroopers, etc. have. There's no real detailing on that. It's just that sort of, I'd class that as a sort of a light black, really. So that's a pretty cool blaster. In terms of the articulation, good articulation. Obviously, you've got a ball on and a hinge, obviously, on the head. You've got articulation there at the elbows, at the shoulders. There's a swivel and a slight crunch, just obviously above just there on the chest plate. You've got articulation, obviously, at the wrists, and there is a hinge in the wrist as well, which is nice. You can get the weapon, obviously, in some different positions. Articulation, obviously, just below the hips there, at the knees, and at the ankles. Not sure whether this one's got the rocker, because I can't. No, I'm not sure. Don't think there's a rocker ankle, which obviously would make sense if. See what I mean by that leg? Those legs just sort of move around a bit weirdly. And they're very, very thin. That's because I've got that way. Now I've got them all bent out of shape. Sorry, guys, if you're watching that. So yeah, listen, great looking figure, other than the legs. That's the only, and that obviously, and the fact that there isn't the holster, that's the only sort of issue that I would have with it. But it is a lovely figure. As I said, this would be a really good one to actually put in an Army Builder as well, because you do want more than one of this figure, and nobody really in their right mind is going to go out and buy a load of that, of that sort of 3-pack of the Obi-Wan. You're just not going to do that unless you've won the lottery or something. So anyway, listen, super figure. It said, if you carded collect, you're going to want it. As an opener, it's still a really good looking figure. You put this in front of other clone Stormtroopers, wherever you want to put it, certainly in Stormtroopers, then obviously it's going to look like a real sort of mean team leader. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are new to the channel and you want to subscribe, there'll be more videos coming shortly. If you've got any questions or any comments on this figure, because to me, as I said, this was one that was unsure of opening, then please, leave them in the comments section below and I'll come back to you as soon as possible. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.